It's not the school authorities' fault, but the fault yevaberekiwedu isusu. Ana mama seDramatic Act vanenge my youth leaders ana mai veruwadzano vada kuchengetedza chiremerera chavo. Hapana munhu andobviswa chiremerera ende ndicho chokwadi. Iko zvino mama akatongonzwa kuti inini ndatizi vanofamba vachidzana kuti akaenda kugwa kwekwatete vakatoda kugara naye, asi shamwari ndidzo dzinozondiona ndakutonzi aiwa mai rudi ndatoveneka mwana. And your ignorance ndiyo iri kutikonzeresera zvakawanda. Dei vabereki vachibuda pachena kuti aiwa vana vedu vari kuita sei, vari kumitiswa. Dei makeses achisvika ende tichikwanisawo kubetserwa. Ndo zvinhu zviri kutikonzeresa.
Haina ndangowedzedza sida kutapudza. Just recently pane musikana wemunext class chima form 3 anti akanogara atete vake vanga akatorwa nababa mukuru wake izvozvo atori kumarriage. Kozoitawo mumwe akangotesira kozumba kwavaitambura aidana nagodbaya atori friend yangu musika wacho naye akatotesira and ndizvo aisapotwa ndishona godbaya yake ametona vakasanombomcontrol sei abatongotesira nemusikana akaswa madrugs nemukomana wake kuvarava esidobva atanhu musikana china muform 2 atanhungoda musikana iye akabva aibvisa akabvisa ndobva atongorwara bano kufanira sei asi american anganozviziva kuti mwana wavo akabvisa nhungu.
Maswera sei ndakamiririrawo chitungwiza. Isusu taita dambudziko reStreet 1. Kune inonzi Street 1 kuri kugara vanhu vari kuita zvevakuru zvekuti vana vepachikoro pedu vamwe vacho notosangana navo vaendeswa kuStreet 1 kwekwe vava kunodzidziswa zvemubhedhuru zvekuti we don't expect kuti mwana anganga achizvidzidziswa. Koita Street 1 inodanisa futi nebullying. Unobva kuchikoro kana uchidarika senini ndiri mumwe another victim webullying yakaitika kuStreet 1. Ndaibva kuchikoro pedu pasekondari uchienda kumba kukei, saka unodarika nemuStreet 1 memo. Uchitodarika nemo mumwe anokubvutira heti, mumwe anokutorera bhegi, vamwe vanokuseka, vamwe vokusekera uniform yenyu, funge kuti unonzwa sei. So changa chiti maybe kungaiswe mutemo against the street kuti isati dzidzisirowo vana. Because sometimes unotoona kuti mwana abva kuchikoro oonekwa azwa kuStreet 1. Zviriko zviri kuitika. Abva kuchikoro akutsvaga mari. Chii chakonzera? Kumba hakuna mari. Mwana haana kusakura chikoro, haana kusakura chikafu kuchikoro. Saka azoonekwa kuenda kubva kuStreet 1 ari kunotsvaga mari. Ende mari yacho iri kubvepi? Iri kubva kuna nababa vechikuru vavari kuti mashuga daddy. Ndo vana vari kupa vana mari vaenda kuStreet 1 kwekuya vonovapa mari. Then there is this issue yebetting kuchitungwiza. Vana vanobva pachikoro uyo akananga kubetting. Kubetting kwacho ari kuendepi? Ari kuenda neuniform yepaseke 5, ari kuenda neuniform yepaseke 3, ari kuenda neuniform yepaseke 1. Why? Hakuna mutemo unotaura kuti hatisi kuda betting panapa, hatisi kuda uniform pabetting. Saka tiri kuti maybe so that vana vanofanira kubhanwa kubetting. Vana I don't think kuti ringanzi zera rekuti inini chaiye zera rangu rinori ndabva panapa ndoenda kubetting, motosvika mumadhare imomo ndotosvika ndowanikwa ndirimo ndiri kuita betting nevanhu vakuru. So I think pari kufanira kuiswa issue yekuti vana vasiende kubetting because vana vari kungobva kuchikoro vakamhanya kubetting, then yekutiwo betting yacho iri padhuze nepachikoro. 2. Then 3 kuita issue yebhimu. Bhimu yatiregerera. Bhimu iri kutadzisa vana kudzidza muzvikoro. Mari yes, tiri kukutendai mari iri kuuya, but pairi kuzouya pacho mwana unenge wanzwa kuchikoro. Sometimes zozongoendapo kuti regei ndichingoshingirira ndichingotsvaga mari yacho at least ndibhadhari, because kuchikoro havaenei nazvo. Vanongokuti uri mubhimu, all right, mari yako kana isina kuuya vanongokudza kuti bhimu haina kukubhadharira mari. hauna mari yako iripo panapa, bhimu haisati yabhadhara. Bhimu yacho uzounza mari pamwe iwe wakutopedza apa kuchikoro wanga wanzwa. Funge kuti vamwe yese uri muklasi unonzwa sei uchinzi ava ndive bhimu ka bhimu yava haisati yaunza mari, unonzwa sei? Unonzwa sei? Hazvinyatsobuditse picture yakanaka. So ndanchikumbirawo kuti kana bhimu ichikwanisa itikasikeyiwo kana vana vasati vavhura yogara yabhadhara mari kuitira kuti tisazofile out of place muvamwe vana. Bhimu yako kunyadzisa iwe, you end up isolating yourself so that unongonyatsoфila kuti mwarini pane vamwe vane fizi handipo ndichadii zvino. Then kuita issue yevana vane vabereki vari diaspora, ndo vamwe vari kukonzeresa to early marriage, sexual abuse pakuti inini kumba kwedu hatina 1 bhimu iye yanonoka kundita sei futi kundibhadhari 2 3 kwaita street 1 rekuti ndikashaya mari ndogona kuenda 3 4 kwaita betting yekuti ndikada kunozvitsvagira mari yacho inini semwana ndinonozvitsvagira ende ndikatoiwana iripo. Handiti vana vediaspora obva wapindira zvawavakomana obva wati ukona kuti chii mari ndinogona kukupa izi zvitori izi ndogona kutsvagira mari chii ndokupa chidai uya handi pakona tonodai sexual abuse dai handi iyo nhumbi yadai yakura futi nhumbi iya mukomana uyo haumuoneka anenge akuzviitira yake iwe ndione nhumbi yakuita sei yakuoneka. Saka ndachikumbira kuti vana vane vabereki vari diaspora at least ngavadzidziswe kushandisa mari dzavo. Yes, mari vanadzo ende tichidziona kuti aiwa mari chi iripo, but vaziviswe kuti mari haisi yavo, mari ndeyevabereki ivo vari kungoipiwawo. Nesu vasikana toiswawo kuti tisawadze peer pressure because vabereki mukasatipa mari inini ndikaenda kudzoti Samantha uko kune mukomana ana mai vake vari John ende mukomana iye ari kutoiwana mari zvemashuvashuva. Saka tinozopedzera takuwanzirana chi peer pressure iwe ndakunotsvaga mari ndakuenda kustreet 1 ndakuita betting kuedza kuti ndiwane mari yacho. Bhimu hamusi kutipawo mari yacho nenguva ndoitawo sei. 3 kuita issue yemasanitary way. Yes, masanitary way ari kusvika muzvikoro but sometimes hatisi kumapiwa. Wozoonekwa ndo zvimwe zvakukonzeresa futi kuti ndiende kustreet 1 iri padhuzeka handina sanitary yacho ndoita sei. Ende kana yauya kuchitungwiza hakuna mvura, saka mawashable ayaya unogona kunzi tiita sei tapiwa washable ndaripiwa ndaenda kumba kwedu ndakudoneta sei ndakuda kunoriwacha handiriwache zvekuchienda because mvura yacho handina zvandingatiti ndinongowachawo zvandagona izvozvo mvura yacho handina. Ende kwoitawo zvimwe zvekuti washable pedreri kumba hatina mari yacho. Vari kukwanisei kundibhadharira fees kuti ndiende kuchikoro kandi fees yacho handisi kutobhadharirwa ndiri mubhimu. Bhimu yacho haishandipe futi chii mari. Ndapiwa mvura hakuna, sipo chaiyo yekuwachisa sanitary pedreri washable hatina. Toitawo sei? Ndopandakuenda kustreet 1 kunotsvaga chii sanitary, meaning kuti street 1 betting nayo masanitary pads nebhimu nevana vane mabereki vari diaspora zvatikanganisa isu sevanasikana.
I think the SHAMVA irikupiwa nema-evidence actual kuti what's really happening. SHAMVA tinangoipika randomly but it's evidence based. We have testimonies of children who are coming there. From there, in Harare up to Mizanzi. I think my parliamentarians, it's something that we really need to look at because street 1 in Inge. Then I think we have the ministry representative who can also give us the reality of what is happening in their schools to show that our work is evidence-based in terms of girls who are dropping out of school as a result of different aspects. So at this time,
my submission is mainly biased to the rural communities where I work from. I teach in SHAMVA. So from what the girls were saying, early marriages are a real story in SHAMVA. And as teachers, it's reflecting badly on us because it's like we are not doing our job as educators. But what I want to bring to light to this house is that as teachers, we have a way of dealing with the girls, but we also have our bounds. There are some gaps that we cannot bridge as teachers. Fine, we can offer these girls with all the support that we can. But when these girls are out there in the communities, the best we can do is to refer the stories. We refer the cases. So our appeal is for this honorable committee to help us in case management. When our girls drop out of school, what are the committees doing out there? Because we deal with the learners in class. At times we do follow up on these girls, but there are other cases that we cannot handle as teachers. We need help. So we were appealing for a collaborative approach of all the line ministries, including the child protection committees that we have. We have realized that we have these committees on paper, but on the ground they are not very functional. They can help us to manage these cases and bring back the girls to school. We really need the girls back in school. Early marriages and teen pregnancies are our daily bread, especially in these mining towns where we work from. Wazanai High is a school which is situated in a township, the same as Wazanai Primary School. Meantime, Primary School is a school at the heart of a mining area. Mazwa Mine Primary School and Mazwa Mine Secondary School are situated in a township. We have so many pubs, liquor shops, beer halls, bottle stores. As teachers, we cannot go and vet if these liquor dealers have licenses or not. So it's not in our place to protect the girls, because there are people who are supposed to enforce rules on these people. They are the same people who are manipulating the girls. Then we also have, we do appreciate re-entry. The re-entry policy is a welcome move for us as educators. At our school, we can proudly say we have success stories of girls who came back to school, who had experienced teenage pregnancies. We supported them. They wrote their exams. Some of them passed. Some of them are still in school. But also, we still need more support, especially from the policymakers. What are we saying about the marginalized areas like our schools in SHAMVA? We have heard of consultations when policies are being formulated. But maybe it passed me, but I don't remember teachers being consulted on the re-entry policy. Maybe teachers in Harare were consulted. But what about us? When we are there are things that we would like maybe to ask the policies to take note of, so that we can support these girls successfully. So when policies are being formulated, we have heard of pilot projects being done at Mazowe Boys, pilot projects being done at Heritage High. I've never heard of a pilot project being done at a school that is down there in Magazi at the corner of SHAMVA. So it's like we are being left out. Atizokwanisi kuti titsanangure kuti tinobatsirikawo sei nekuti tisu tiri paground. Tisu tinenge tichiswera nevasikana kuti vanodeiwo polisi faini iripo. Ine zvimwe zvinhu zvataifungidzira kuti zvinotibatsira kana tikabvunzwa kuti maschools are not equipped zvakakwana kuti musikana ari pregnant adzoke kuchikoro. The re-entry policy, maonero angu, is still idealized. Ichiri in abstract. A few privileged teachers vapinda maybe in these programs. Ndisu tanyanya kuita interaction ne Secular P35 ne Amendment Act. but kune vamwe vasina kuwana the education. Maybe those who were here yesterday, pane vana vakaita act out ma-teachers achitostigmatize vana. Vaida kuratidza kuti information haiko yakakwana. The parent does not know kuti mwana akukwanisa kudzokera kuchikoro after the accident yekuita teen pregnancy. Saka isusu tinotoudzwa nemubereki kuti mwana shuwa aenda kwambuya kugokwe but mwana aita nhumbu. Mubereki asi kuzviziva kuti faini mwana anogona kusununguka odzoka kuchikoro. Is it our duty as teachers kana zvakuda kuti tichibatsira nawo the custodians of the people who are out there kuti vatibatsirewo to disseminate the information iende kuvabereki vazive. Then who's supposed to equip the schools? Vana ava who are trained to teach them maths, we are trained to teach them English. We can also guide and counsel on SRHR issues. But when she falls sick, nekuti ari pregnant, what do? We can only refer to the nearest clinic. Have we ever checked how far our schools are from the clinics, especially at the rural area? Have we checked kuti clinics edu are youth friendly for these girls? Kana kuti anononoka kuchikoro nochakamiswa mukiu nevamwe vana maivo vakazvitakura. Saka mwana anowana malessons apera. Ndiani anozokwanisa kuita cover that lost time? If we checked kuti musikana uyu kana akudzoka back from maternity, ane mwana waari kusiya kumba, who will take care of that baby? What about the nutrition yemwana iyeye? What about the welfare yemwana iyeye? So what we are just appealing for is a stepping up of maybe re-engagements with other ministries and other stakeholders. Isusu sematicha toita basa redu rekudzidzisa mwana kuti apase, vamwe votibatsira kuti mwana ave comfortable in the school, agokwanisa kuita stay longer, agokwanisawo kuzoita achieve their goals. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. In Ndakamirira SHAMVA district, ndiriwe kulenda welfare department. MuSHAMVA district tine 30 secondary schools, ne 50 primary schools. As from those recorded, isu tiri kulenda welfare department, tinenge tichinzwa ma-reports anobva kuma-schools edu. Asi tinoona kuti ma-reasons atinoona akawanda kuvana vedu kuti vaite ma-child marriages inyaya yema-religious beliefs. Ndo yakawanda, especially tikaenda kuti ma-areas akaita sekunana Chimhondoroko ndokwaanowandira ikoko. Then dzimwe nyaya dzinoitikawo ndedzekuti there might be some gaps ekuti ma-parents edu they can lie to the school. Mwana wedu akarwara saka takazomuendesa kwaambuya, mwana wedu akatransfer, iko zvino akudzidza kugokwe, iko zvino akudzidza kwakati, wotouya wotopiwa transfer letter pachikoro, mwana wotonzi atransfer. Asi pazuva pamberi pamwe mozomuona atori mucommunity abereka mwana. Saka muchaona kuti magaps iwayo anoita kuti pavana pavanga vachiripoti vanga vaitaura kuti makesi acho akawanda chaizvo, zveshuwa anogona kunge ariko. Asi isusu seLearner Welfare Department, ma-recorded cases atakarekoda so far this year, takangorekoda only 9 ataiwana kubva kuma-schools edu. Saka tingangondo ma-recorded cases. Asi hatirambe kuti kunogona kunge kune mamwe ariko zviri kuitika, but ma-parents asiri kuita kama pamwe vachizosvika kuma-school heads kwedu vachitaurawo zvisizvo. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. I think the evidence is coming from Manikevan background. The SUCESS Civil Society Organization, we are using the Education Sector Performance Review. That's the document of the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education in order to power mass statistics, as well as the joint sector review. For this one, we used their 2020 as well, highlighted the issues of high numbers of dropouts and the EMIS report. Specifically for SHAMVA, we used the Zimbabwe Demographic and Health Survey of 2019, which stipulated that dropouts in the prevalence of child marriage in SHAMVA was 33.6%, which was literally above the national average of 29.1%. So what we used is domesticated data, which is in Zimbabwe. I'm not going to touch on the causes because it has already been touched on. Then the issue of saying, are we going to scale up? That is our vision. From Shtumbiza we go more. But the whole idea is our funds are constrained. So what we have done under the coalition, Education Coalition of Zimbabwe, kuti partners vanoshandisa models akasiyana, and at the end of each year we share how we've been using these models. For example, World Vision is implementing in Matebeleland region. They use the community voice in action. It's not in the dramatic form, but it's another way of engaging the community and decision makers. There is also Dreams, which is in Matebeleland region, where there is Plan International and Batwan. We also have Care International, which is implementing more in the Manicaland region. So what differs is the style of doing things. Is to shandisa tuseme, vamwada shandisa ngoma, vamwada shandisa dialogue. But from what we have been getting is at the end of the day, we need to borrow models which are interesting and try to harmonize the community scorecards which are being used to ensure that we don't leave anyone behind. The likes of Mana Rosaria Memorial Trust from Mashonaland East, they use the Nanga model, which is different from our model. But we appreciate that if we get more resources and through engaging of our partners, we can afford that. Then in terms of disability inclusion, this is our first engagement. Themes come progressively. And the one that we are running on is on the right to education for girls. But however, we have partners who really specialize in disabilities. It's so much unfortunate that we don't have time to really start talking about disability. But what we have identified in the schools that we are implementing, that's why we have one who have joined us. It might be unfortunate that the schools that we are implementing in, they may be limited or no learners with disabilities, and they will be in the communities. But it's a point noted. So at this point in time, I would really appreciate the feedback, and we hope we have managed to respond to your questions. If we have left anything, other engagements are coming so that we continue the dialogue on our key asks as the citizens of Zimbabwe. At this point on time, I'm calling Nesta to come up to talk to our guests for the day.
Okay, good afternoon once again. Sharon Grace is my name. As learners under the Tusemi Club, we appreciate the government of Zimbabwe with policies that ensure that the state takes all measures to afford girls the same opportunities as boys in obtaining education at all levels. Parliament to allocate a specific budget aimed at improving access to education and educational services in Zimbabwe. Thank you. We therefore submit to you.
Okay, I think we have gone out to Tashika, Kombayachika Mapungu. Toziya kuti baya raise our emotions, but what is not written in our space as civil society is not done. So our champion here, Lester, will be submitting the written evidence saying those that have Kumbira, this was 16 November, as we start the journey to have the national petition and other engagements which will follow. So she will be coming to you, Honorable. She doesn't know the chair of the committee, so I'll be grateful maybe if you raise your hand and she will come to you. So there are 2 copies. One copy is for our filing, and the other copy is the copy that you are taking to your committee to say after the engagement, those are Taurwa. Never easy. And we really appreciate. Yes, we had to go to the summary in terms of the key asks, but you have more ample time to go through the qualifications that we have cited and everything. The soft copy we will also share with your team of the Secretariat so that you have an appreciation. So at this time, maybe if we have...
All right. We have learned a lot here, and I am quite glad that the ministry officials are in here, our partners are in here, our parliamentarians are also here, and the issues that have been raised by our peoples are very, very touching. They are very, very touching. And I have always liked the African. It has been repeated here. If you educate a girl, if you educate a boy, you educate a man. If you educate a girl, you have educated a nation. If I are not all right, madzimai ane basa rakawanda, mwanasikana ane basa rakati wandei uye rakakosha. And I have seen kuti pane imwe saying again, iyo inoti behind every successful man there is a hard-working woman. Makamboinzwa nditi? Ndoba ndaona kuti okay. So varume vose vakabudirira zoreva kuti madzimai avo ndo anonyanya kugona kushanda uye achishanda nesimba naye. Right. I don't want to take much of your time, but I just want to, on behalf of the committee, to respond to the issues that you... And I know most of the issues that have been raised here, as your committee, we actually have a role that we play as members of parliament. We have the 3 major roles. 1, representative role, 2, legislative role, and thirdly, oversight role. And usually, on the issue of oversight, ndo pane basa hombe randaona ratinofanira kuti tite respond to tiri pano, nokuti our task is to monitor Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, to monitor the implementation of the government policies. The government policies, those are where programs of the government, programs carried by the ministry are driven from. So I was quite happy to note that most of the issues which were raised here, some of them are contained in the Education Amendment Act of 2019. For example, the issue of the re-entry policy, the issue of is also contained in that document. There is also the issue of basic state-funded education. It is also contained in that document. So, as members of Parliament, what we do is to see to it that those things are being implemented by those who should do the work. So that's why you see at times we move around as a committee, visiting schools, trying to find out, trying to figure out what exactly is happening in our schools. So, in short, ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, our peoples, I have decided just to start as a way of introduction by highlighting those things I have highlighted here. So let me get into our document, which is responding to the issues that we have raised here. So the portfolio committee is humbled by the initiatives being undertaken by the Forum for African Women Educationalists Zimbabwe chapter, Education Coalition of Zimbabwe, ECOS, and ActionAid. The committee is grateful for the work you are doing in supporting the women and girls in Zimbabwe. The drama we witnessed today was very informative and fully appreciate the concerns raised by the learners. Indeed, nothing for the learners without involving the learners themselves. This session has indeed enlightened us and made us reflect on the realities of life. As policymakers, it is the time we will take the scourges of early child marriages, drug abuse, gender-based violence, and many others very seriously. The children of today are the leaders of tomorrow. Therefore, it is important to protect and uphold children's rights as stipulated in international conventions such as the UNCR, ACRWC, and our national legislative and policy frameworks, particularly the Constitution and the Education Amendment Act. In terms of the submission before us, the committee has taken note and will deliberate on the issues as presented before us. Indeed, I could see my colleagues, honorable members, following, and we all agree that a girl child must be protected from early child marriages and pregnancies, gender-based violence, drug abuse, and many other scourges that affect the girl child. Of major concern for the committee is the absence of learners with disability amongst the learners here. The government has adopted the inclusive education policy, and it is important for our development partners to also take note and include the learners with a disability, as they are also affected by early child marriages, rape, and various forms of abuse. The committee therefore acknowledges some of the following issues raised. A shortage of infrastructure in Zimbabwe, particularly in rural areas where learners travel long distances to school, poor water and sanitation, access to electricity. Ipababa Nezuro, I was attending a workshop, strategic plan review workshop in Bulawayo, where we had our Deputy Minister, PEMSEC, PEDs, DSI, and the like. So quite a lot was talked about, and I also raised the issue of school shortages in the areas that we come from. And I think on that score, something is going to be done as a matter of urgency, because our PEMSEC was also very much concerned about that. Shortage of ICT equipment and learning materials in schools across the country, especially in rural communities, impacting school performance by learners. Again, it was an issue which was strongly deliberated on, and I do hope some strides are being done, and we are going to witness a lot as far as our budget for 2024 is concerned. I am sure we raised a lot of issues concerning the issue of ICT. Higher teacher people ratio on average 60 to 90 people per teacher. Again, that one needs to be addressed. Challenges with implementing color due to the economic hardships faced by parents, resulting in unequal opportunities among the learners. I think that one is straightforward. Late disbursements of BIM funds, yes. That one, honorable members, I think we need to put our minds together so that we push strongly, we push. Because this one, the issue of BIM is under the purview of the Ministry of Public Service, Labor and Social Welfare. So what we do is just to monitor to see whether the funds have been dispersed to the ministry. But that one is done by the Ministry of Public Service, Labor and Social Welfare. So, honorable members, I think there is need here to make sure that if BIM funds are administered by the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, I think that would be much better. That would be much better. Nokuti vamwe vangu takudare reparamende, let us push hard. Why ndichitaura izvi? Ukareza question kuna minister inoreviewa public service, nokuti ndo vane ita nezveBIM. Asi, let disbursement, BIM funds, I affect Ministry of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare. You know, affect the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education. Saka kuna imani kuti ministry haina chaino wanokuti haiafektiwi nazvo, saka inga manya sekuti participate mariri. Ve-education and education hazvati zvaitika. Hazvaitika nokuti vari ku-education vanonyatsokuziva kuti BIM, even the PEMSEC, even the minister need to say. Those people are really disturbed about the issue of BIM. So, and I think we need to sit down, the ministry, the committee, public service, tione sana panya yepi. Nikuti batino babu skoro, baba ya wanakutofona kuti na MP to akachikoro zikoro sei. Vana vakapinda mubhimu in the 620, vana vari mubhimu 400 something. Kureva kuti kwaita sara ne 100 something kana 200 something. Ndo vasara vanobhadhara pa 200 something vasara havo haibhadhari vanoti hatina mari. So you see, kuti pane nyaya. Let me proceed. Challenges with accessing sexual, reproductive, and health rights for children, including pregnant girls. Another challenge there. High school dropouts due to early pregnancies and marriages, poverty. Then number 5. Let me emphasize that the committee is already seized with some of these measures as adopted in our work plan. Meaning to say, some of these things which have been raised here are already in our work plan for 2024. The committee has heard your key asks, and we are now in the picture of what is actually obtained in the sector. We therefore ask that the petition be formally directed to the Clerk of Parliament, who will further ensure that it is dealt with by this committee. So what actually happens on the issue of petition, they are directed to the Clerk of Parliament, and the Clerk of Parliament will then refer the petition to the committee, and then the committee will do what is needed, what is expected to be done as far as the petitions are concerned. So I'm sure your petition, or let me say your petitions, will follow the right path. We assure the girls, the teachers, and all stakeholders here present that as a committee, we will deal with the issues raised expeditiously. In conclusion, let me mention that Parliament is mandated by the Constitution to make laws for the good government, for the good governance of the country. So, ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, these are our responses. We have pertaining to the issues that have been raised here. So, whenever you have got something that you want the committee to help you, don't hesitate to come to us. We are there for you. The committee is there for you to assist you. Let's work as a team. Let's work as a family. Your problems are our problems. So I do hope that we are going to work together well so that we assist the girl child. With these few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, I just want to thank you.
zvamauya zvanaka. I think and as girls, manzoma responsibility. As stakeholders, manzoma responsibility. We've got a lot of work to do. We've opened a can of work. At least we are not really in detail. Then we'll be writing to the clerk of the committee. Tabs will follow the answer. Say, guys, let's listen. Because sometimes there's visual connectivity that we can join. Follow up to ensure this was discussed on this day, and the answer it will be there, and our team can also assist us. About the Amended Education Act. We are doing consultation as a result of this meeting. We are not supposed to tire. Over to the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, Ms. Koza, Deputy Director, Primary and Education. Manareni Bachema. Clap hands for her.
We have networked. I understand there are people who didn't know what was happening in the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education. That has been explained and expounded here. Now you have been given an insight. The children are really giving the real situations obtaining in their different situations. Saka, my honorables, I'm putting Sando Kwamuri. I think you now. It's like an exchange symposium. Danzwa honorable, the chairperson of Chitaura Nyayakuti. Roles. I'm just going to take the oversight role that you mentioned. Yes, an oversight role. What is happening in the Ministry of Primary and Secondary? What are the handicaps that they have? Issue ya beam is not new. Yaimbo uya. Ichinonoka zvayo asi ichiuya. Asi ezvino haisati yauya. For how many? I don't want to say yes, but for quite some time. And what will be happening Kuvana as we wait, it has crippled the functions of the school. It's my expectations are not yet implemented. I don't but it's not funded. I know who we are, Marion. It's true that the directive says 60% of learners should be on bill. So that we get a 60%. 40% inotatarika vabereki vachibhadhara yochizouya zvokomplementana and we go forward. But Honorable Mr. Chairperson, matozvitsanangura zvese. I won't go through that again. Mazvitsanangura zvakanaka zvakanzwisisa. The issue of readmission of girl learners who have fallen pregnant is a policy in the primary and secondary education now. Because these girls who are pregnant, even at primary school, our girls are maturing very early. Grade 5, you are very good looking and nice, and you think they are 20, and yet they are only 10 years old. You have read in the papers what has happened to the girl child. That policy of readmission so that they fall pregnant. No. It's a measure. Let's try and help rather than keep the child out to say you are doomed. But at the same time we are saying abstinence is the best. I think when our then the drug and substance abuse. Muma schools. People tend to say it's prevalent in the secondary schools, but that is not true. Even at primary schools, we have had learners who have been affected with drug and substance abuse. Zvinotinetsa ndezvekuti vanhu vanoziva kwadzinowanika mhuka dzacho nemamwe mazita ndatikureya ndinyatsomaziva asi mhuka takaibata. We really know where our kids are getting these things from. Nevanotengesa, may I say to the honorables, hanzi vanotengesa avabatiki. Vanhu vakuru kungonzwa chete aya ma-allegations chete. Can it be hazvigoni kutsvagwa here kuti where are the drugs coming from, so that we don't kill this generation, because it's affecting vasikana nevakomana vacho zvese. Nozva kusitika kwakuda kuita fashionable kunzi mwana akasitika. Mwana anositika for 3 days. What are we saying? Isusu vanhu vakuru tichiona those situations. Ndakuda kudzokorora zvimwe zvandakambotaura nezvo. Zvakureva kuti tese we have something to do. All ministries, kudai yangaitaurwa nachairperson kuti the whole of government approach haichava issue yeministry of primary and secondary church. All ministries, ngatibatsiranei tigone to nip out this problem. Vana vedu vararame. We will have a generation ine vana vanongofunga kuti mbanje is the way to go. Because kune heroism iriko, when they see the other ones vakasitika, vanenge vachitofara chaizvo kuti I want to do the same. Ndiri kuti ngatibatsiranei sezvataona mukana wataona pano pasymposium, the knowledge that we have got from here, the insights that the children have given, kuvapo mukana vachitaura vega. And I want to applaud FAWEZI and all stakeholders for the opportunity. And I think takamirirwa zvakakwana. When we see all these honorables, I ndasana kuona chairperson. That was my first time. But ndikufara zvisingabviri. And I can see mothers among you. Vandinofunga kuti zvechokwadi we are represented zvakakwana. Nyaya iyi ngairege kuperera pano. It's really an issue. I know maybe kana makuipresenta kuparliament inogona kuita, it might look like a very trivial issue. Inogona kuita kunge isina nebasa rese, but anoisimbisa tisu ma-PPC. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I think
action was very lively. If we had more time, we would have extended it and maybe have a session to share some different models so that we'll be able to answer. But this is the journey that we are embarking on, working with the ministry, our Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education. They are our key partners when we're talking about education. And the PPC on education will continuously work with you so that our issue.
At this juncture, I'd like to thank you for this supercalifragilisticexpialidocious conference that you have hosted for us. Isu sevanasikana tinoda kukutendai matipa mukana wekuti titaure ende matipa nzeve makatiteerera, and we believe that you will take some serious action. Tinokudai, may God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have started with the prayer, so we need to end with the prayer. Then with your permission, before you go out, we would appreciate if we have a number of group photos. It will be really good for our work. So the other one was Lisa and the other one was Melissa. What happened to those two girls? Where are they? I need the other one.